47 yards. I've got the 85, 45, 7. Sometimes it takes 2 shots. That last shot at least got that out of the field. We got the buzzards all stirred up.
And the turkeys.
Yeah, we got turkeys down here. They didn't like that a bit.
I'm ready.
Shot 245 yards with 45-7. She ran about 25 yards. When she left long, there's a trail of long all the way down through. And I know some people question some of my shot placement. Look right here. I don't really know how you could have done that no better with that rise. And that's what I intend to teach on this video. How to get that kind of shot placement. That's the exit hole right there. How to get this kind of shot placement with a 45-70 at long range, and then how to do it offhand. We're fixing to go back to the other end of the field. We got a deer on the other side too that shot. But that's 245 yards offhanded with a 45-70. And I hope this shows y'all that I don't blow smoke about what I do with them. It's an extremely effective gun and cartridge. And we got turkeys that very much dislike our being here.
The mama hen with some babies.
You ain't gotta worry about us, lady. But that's what we do right there. That's every now and then I make a bad shot. I tried to shoot that and running after this, and I missed it. I'm not too good on the running shots, but if they'll give me enough time to stand there and look at them, I'm usually gonna pop them. And now let's go get another deer out of the field. That deer is 253 yards away, and I'm gonna do that one sitting down in a chair. What I do when I do that is prop my elbow up on the edge of the chair. Put my earplugs in here real quick. Prop my elbows up on the chair. Put on this little stool. I can get on my chair because I have a hat. Alright, this is 253 yards.
Alright. There was a deer over there straight ahead of us, but it, I think, went into the woods.
you filming?
I'm filming.
What we just did, this is my sitting position. It's not typical. I use this little stool down here to prop my leg. When I get my elbow to the stool and the gun pulled back, this is amazingly steady. I can get just about as steady as I can on the bench, holding it like that. Take up earplugs. But 253 yards. And once again, you said it was 45-70. So let's see if we got another customer. They're 169. I'm going to show you how to do this shot offhanded. And then we'll go to some graphs later to make it show that it's not as difficult as it looks. I just shot one of those, and the reason I didn't try to shoot another one yet is because where they were at in the field, it's nearly 100 yards from that deer to the edge of the field, even though it doesn't look like it on camera. And I've got to get that deer out. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to go down to the other end of this field and see if there's another one or another group out in that other end. And then I'll come back and get that one out of the field. That was offhand 169. 300 yards. I'm having to shoot over a ridge line. I'm fixing to rearrange those deer. They're a little closer than the other ones. Okay, now I've got a 227 yard shot to those deer. And I'm going to take the closer ones and send the farther ones. It's a better percentage shot. I'm going to have to do this offhanded again. I can't get to a rest. I'm shooting over the crest here. Now they're moving. Just a little bit back. The deer's hit just a little bit back. It's hard for me to get a good shot at it right there. Now let me let this go. Yeah, it's hit better. It's just nerves. That was 227 yards offhand. Welcome to our informal video. What I'm going to do is try to show you what we use to do those deer shots with, and then how we do them, the trajectory and the offhand shooting. First thing, this is the LTD-5 that made those shots in the video. It has a very extremely bolt on it, and it's sighted in for 200 yards. When you sight one of these in for 200 yards, I know a lot of you will think that that's too high at 100 yards or 50 yards if you have a close shot. What happens with this, when you sight in for 200 yards with the load that we're using, this thing is 5 inches high at 100 yards. We're 5 inches high at 100 yards, and that's using 350 grain load. Out of this gun, it runs around 2,100 feet a second. When you shoot 50 yards, you hold it right on the heart. When you hold it right on the heart, if you can see these numbers on this graph, 3 inches high at 50 yards still lands at the top of the heart and lungs. If you're shooting 100 yards, same thing, you hold it right on the heart, 5 inches high, you still land right in the center of the lung area. When you shoot 150 yards with it, if you look on my chart up here, it's 4 inches high at 150 sighted in, dead on at 200 yards. 4 inches high puts you right back in the same area. 200 yards, of course, it's zero. I usually hold right in the middle of the ribs if that rangefinder says 200 yards. If it's 250 yards, we're talking about 9 inches of drop. 9 inches of drop. This is 9 inches right here. If you hold right here, that still puts you right in this heart area. What you do, if your range reads in between this, all you do is divide the distance. Say between 250 and 300 yards. 300 yards of that load is 23 inches low sighted and dead on at 200 yards. The reason we put the eyeball on here, that is about 23 inches. That distance, that's about where you would have your crosshairs. Say the deer was at 275 yards. You split the difference between the 9 and 23. So it puts you right in here. Now that sounds like that's not going to do you too good a job or not be real precise, but what happens, you've got this much area here. This is sized after a 125-pound doe. It's 14 inches from the top of the back to the belly, 14 inches high. When you hold like that, your margin of error, you can see by this chart, it actually would go an inch below this to this point right here, 8 inches. So anywhere in that range right there, it's still going to put you in the vitals. So you can see it's not really that hard to do. This is a target. We shoot these targets, practice on them. Cardboard with the vitals drawn on them, instead of just shooting at paper with a round dot. What you'd do, if you were shooting a different rifle that had a different trajectory other than this rifle and load, what you'd want to do is make you up a chart the same way. Go ahead and measure off your inches on it. If your deer are bigger, say a 200-pound deer, next time you kill one, measure your deer. You draw the same thing on your cardboard, except make it the size of your deer. Draw up your chart, put your trajectory information on the same chart. And all you have to do when you're practicing, say you set this target at 300 yards, before you ever did it, you'd know where to put it. Now, you don't have to leave this on there to shoot, but this is a gauge. It's real simple to make up, and it'll show you where to hold it. Now, what I do when I'm in a field where I'm going to have to make a long shot, I take a trajectory chart for whatever rifle I'm carrying on the back of the rangefinder. If I throw this up, see 228 yards, I flip it over, I see that's right in between 200 and 250. I divide that in half, you're about 4.5 inches or so. Just hold right here. Very simple. Now, when you're shooting something really flat shooting, this is my 264, the one we call the Boogeyman. This rifle has stadia lines in it. Now, I meant to draw up a chart to show how the stadia lines work, but I can explain it pretty simple. The stadia line, the first one above the center, has a 1 inch center diameter or 1 minute center diameter. It's 3 inches. I sight this thing in dead on with the load I'm using, 3 inches. I carry a chart usually stuck in the ammo holder in the butt. This thing's waterproof. I don't even have to worry about the trajectory on this thing until it gets past 400 yards. When you get out there at 450 yards with that load, it drops 20 inches. stadia lines are marked off in 3-inch and then 9-inch increments. If that deer was 400 yards, all of my 3-minute or 3-inch line would be multiplied by 4. That would be 12 inches. So if I hold that line right on where I want to hit, it's going to hit that deer. The same thing, it works out all the way out as far as you want to shoot it that way until you run out of trajectory. In that case, you just screw off the turret. It's got increments marked in that, and you just spin it and shoot. But you use the same practice methods. You just don't have to worry about it until you get past 400 yards with this rifle. I'll show you how this target's made up. Very simple, cut out of cardboard with the vitals marked on there. When you're wanting to learn your trajectories on what they actually look like through a scope, you draw this up with a black felt tip marker where you can see it real good. Set it at 100 yards or 200 or 300, however far you're going to shoot it. Kind of how much scope you've got on there too. When you put it on there, just take you a couple of nails. And attach it to your deer. And that'll show you your sight hold on there. When you get ready to shoot, you just remove this, but just memorize the picture. And that's how simple it is. That's about as simple as I know how to make it. Let's say you can see on the video it works. A couple of shots on that video. 245 yards that I shot offhanded on that video. All I could see of that deer was a line like that of both fingers. I ranged that deer at 245. That automatically showed me my trajectory is going to be right around here. Hold over. But I had to impact this deer a little higher because I couldn't see it below. Basic thing, just move it up however many inches above the body line you thought you were, which I thought was about 6 inches. I hit within an inch of where I was holding on that deer using that method. So you can say it's still real simple. And this is very informal, and that's all. I'm going to show y'all how I hold the rifles when I do those long offhand shots. I've seen different techniques used. But what does good for me, you don't want this arm flopping. You've got a good body to support it. All I do is I bring the rifle up, pull it back tight to my shoulder. My arm against my body, hold it as close to the receiver usually as I possibly can. And that's it. When you try to do this, I think people try to do this, I think they try to do this. Anything you do, let that arm move, you get the bottom of the top. And that right there will steady your shot, and say after a little bit of practice like that, it's not too hard to shoot 300 yards.
Which side? Show it.
Good.
Show your right arm.
Yeah. Right arm. This is the position I use my arm in. Do that. That's the form I use. Like I said, it's been deadly. I've now made a 328 yard shot offhand on a deer and took it. That's all there is to it.